Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds, let the AI do all the work, and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Mariya Babaskina from Yogi, VP of Marketing with them. How are you doing today, Mariya?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ernesto?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking, and it's a pleasure to have you on with us today, Mariya. So let's kick it off then. I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what Yogi is all about. So in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. So Yogi helps some of the most successful global brands really understand what their customers and what their competitors' customers want and need. And we do that by pulling in customer feedback from various sources. So things like ratings and reviews. And then Yogi does all the hard work. We analyze all of that data. And the end result is just a wealth of easy to digest insights from millions of data points that help everyone from category managers to innovation to marketing teams, just helping them make really, really smart business moves and ultimately outshine their competitors by putting their customers first.
Definitely important. Love that. So then, and so that way our listeners can get a good understanding there of Yogi then. What would you say is that key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
Yeah. So, our best customers are large brands that have numerous brand product categories, tons of products within those categories, and they really understand the value of being deeply connected to customer sentiment data. So through Yogi, they're actually finding a narrative in all of the noise that's out there. And they can see everything from which specific attributes shoppers like better about competitors, all the way through to how consumers are reacting to a new ingredient in one of their products, to market gaps and green space for innovation.
Definitely important. And talking about some clients, right? I mean, you guys have Nestle, Microsoft, Tropicana, Kohler. I mean, you guys have some huge brands. Is there a certain vertical segment that you guys like to go for, or is there an ideal ICP for you guys?
Yeah, we're primarily in the CPG space, more upmarket. You could consider mid-market to enterprise. Usually, really big brands that are doing like several $100 million in revenue. So those that you could consider your market leaders.
Definitely. Okay. Awesome to hear that. And so then if I'm in the CPG business, how would I typically find about Yogi? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Yeah, so we're actually in a pretty fortunate situation where we have an incredible product. So word of mouth referrals, they have gone a long way for us. But, because Yogi has always been so invested in building what is truly, from my perspective, a best-in-class product, there's now a ton of opportunity to now optimize our marketing engine and acquisition channels. So whether that be events, paid media, website, partners, social, we're really getting ready to press the gas on some of our other acquisition channels as well.
Absolutely. Okay. Awesome to hear that. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in could go ahead and visit you. They could always check you out at meetyogi.com. What role does the website then play for client acquisition?
Yeah. So I kind of like to think of your website sort of as like your dating profile. If someone looks at your photo after a friend told them how great you are, they may give you a pass. So, if you're a 7 out of 10, they might still be willing to chat up with you. But, if your website is the first impression alone, it might carry more weight. So I think, for Yogi specifically, there's certainly room to optimize. We serve a wide range of personas. So I think just getting really clear with messaging, the funnel journey, as you described, your CTAs, nurtures are absolutely key. And, we have so much thought leadership from all of the data and insights that we collect. So I think we've only scratched the surface in terms of the high value content that we can actually share with our brands and have available on our website.
Okay. Awesome to hear that. And so as far as what would you recommend to your listeners as far as some website lead generation? Is there any tips, some methods, tools that you're using?
Yeah, absolutely. So, from my perspective, I think clear messaging is absolutely key. it really starts with understanding your ICP, understanding your personas. I personally love doing virtual workshops and getting buy-in from other team members that are actually talking to customers daily. Marketers aren't always the ones that have the luxury to talk to customers on a consistent basis, although I do recommend customer interviews. But getting other team members involved to really help you define those personas and their ICPs, getting that early buy-in and iterating on that, it's going to consistently change. So always revisit any documentation that you have and build out your messaging architectures from there. And then, of course, A/B test where possible and take the time to get it at least 90% right. Progress over perfection, test and learn, and iterate as you go.
Definitely. Okay, good. Thank you so much for sharing those tips and methods, Mariya. And let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the VP of marketing there for Yogi, what are some key tasks you're focusing on your day-to-day work?
Yeah, so we're a small but mighty team at the moment. In all of my historical roles, I've always been a full stack marketer. I really enjoy rolling up my sleeves, wearing many hats, and just getting down and dirty. So anything from writing key messages of doing product marketing, understanding our personas, like I just mentioned, to building out messaging architecture, and then campaigns that map to our individual personas, looking at our customer journey, social strategy events. You name it, the list goes on, pretty much all things marketing. But I think, the big takeaway is to really just try to balance strategy and execution in the day-to-day. You really have to take time to stop and think and do creative brainstorming along the way. And that's, regardless of what tactical things that I'm working on, always taking a pause to make sure that we're also being strategic as a team and that team members have what they need in order to be successful.
Definitely important. All right. Thank you, sir, for sharing that. And so in your between times, sounds like you have a full plate there on your hands. How do you stay up to date with all the news as far as marketing trends, strategies? Is there a preferred channel that you like to go with?
Yes. So my new favorite thing is to follow people over companies. So my trust in company content is waning just a little bit, especially with AI. There's just so much out there, as you mentioned. But there are thought leaders that, I've learned to trust over the years that I love to follow. So Chris Orlob, he led, sales for Gong as they were getting massive. John Miller, co-founder of Marketo and founder of Engagio. And then AI thought leaders too, like Isabella Bedoya. If you don't follow her on LinkedIn, she's awesome. And then, of course, industry thought leaders that are in retail in the CPG space, Paula McCaggy, Oliver Banks, Ricardo Belmar. Those are the top that I would recommend.
Some great people there. So also thank you so much for sharing those for our listeners, Mariya. And let's then jump into our next section then here, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for those?
Let's do it.
All right, perfect. First off then is, what is the last book that you read?
Ooh, okay. So not as much time to read lately because laptop closes around 6 and I'm in mom mode until I go to bed. But I'll give you two that left a big impact on me. One is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Really easy read, connects, brand storytelling with movie scripting and has a play-by-play on how to write your own story brand script. And then second, Traction by Gino Wickman is one that I love. Not as casual of a read, but if you love process, it has some really practical tips in there to really get your company strategically aligned.
Definitely. All right. So thank you so much for sharing those books with us. Then next up then is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
I love this question. Okay, so all of my systems would be talking to each other. I would know, exactly who could benefit most from Yogi, perhaps before even they knew. And then there would be an automated way to cut through the noise and reach out to people. And of course, advanced reporting tools along the way that share really valuable insights.
Okay, awesome to hear that. Next then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Oh, so, I think I would update all assets from a single source. So if positioning changes or if there's a new feature launch, so everything like your decks, your one-pagers, social posts, they would all update with accurate visuals that tell a compelling story and messages that really resonate. And I actually think we're closer to getting there than we think with AI. So yeah, if someone out there is listening to this and starts a $1 billion business off that idea, please cut me a surprise check. I will be forever grateful.
Awesome. And well, Mariya, I mean, say you were coming straight out of the University of Georgia with all the experience that you already have. What would you recommend yourself? What would be that one piece of advice that you would give yourself?
Yeah, I would definitely say, trust your gut. Don't assume that you know less just because you're less experienced. And, along the way, you may fail, you may be uncomfortable, but, that's growing pains. You'll get through it and you'll be a better marketer in the end because of it. So, those little, hey, I tried this and it didn't work because XYZ, and I learned this along the way. And next time we should try that. Do you hear how powerful that is? And, that right there is gold. So yeah, go for the gold.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us about piece of advice. And well, we are coming to the end of the show here, Mariya. But before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about Yogi?
Ooh, I would say meetyogi.com is what you should remember. Go to that URL and learn more about what we do. We would love to reach out to you and discuss more about how we can help you derive some insights from your customer, because essentially they are the heartbeat of your business.
Exactly. There you guys heard it. Turn reviews into results. Mariya, do want to thank you so much for being on with us today. For our listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Mariya.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.